Let's do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. You got all the weight in your chest.
I am very
Go on,
angry.
go.
I am very angry. Fuck you. Free for free. There, I've said it. I had to get off my chest. Seriously, guys, I am your number one defender. Every week on this podcast, we talk about how they mess things up, and I'm like, oh, there's not that bad. They can fix it. No, fuck you. You've really crossed the line here. You've gone too far, right? It's bad enough that you like Halo. So basically, ever since Free for Free took over, Halo, I got a rant. This has been building up since 3 o'clock this morning last night. So ever since Free for Free took over Halo, Halo 4 had a good campaign, was rubbish multiplayer. Halo 5 had decent multiplayer, but it was full of loot boxes and shit like that. And then Infinite is like, I really enjoyed Infinite. I thought it was really good, but there's not been enough content, and it's been bogged down with microtransactions. So basically, they've not made a good Halo game, or like nothing has hit the same standards as Bungie's Halo games. And now the games that Bungie made, the Master Chief Collection, are now getting microtransactions. What the fuck? This game has been out for 8 years, and now they're charging you extra money to play it. It is absolutely absurd. So if you haven't heard the news, this is my rant. I'm off on one now. But Free for Free have announced that they will be adding microtransactions, or they are thinking about adding microtransactions, which means they are going to add them, but they wanted to see how the internet was going to react. We're going to add microtransactions by changing season points to Spartan points. So if you don't know how Master Chief Collection works, you unlock season points by leveling up. By playing certain things, by playing the single player, by doing multiplayer, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, if you want to unlock those points, you can unlock them by playing the game, or you can give them extra money. They are now nickel and diming us and being predatory, and it is very annoying. I listened to Xbox podcast yesterday, the IGN one, and all the girls on the podcast, forgot Miranda, I think her name was saying how they need to add microtransactions to run the game. Oh, this is a Microsoft game. They have the money. They don't need to microtransaction us. They've sold this game to us. They sold this game to us for 60 quid, and a lot of people bought it, and then a lot of people have paid money into Game Pass. You do not need to add microtransactions to this game to keep it running. It is complete bullshit, and it has made me very angry, as you might be able to tell. I mean, I was going to make a video, ironically, I was telling you about this the other day, I was going to make a video about how Halo 3 is still the greatest multiplayer game of all time, because it came out just before the invention of microtransactions. So it has Forge mode with customizable maps. It has they had DLC maps. They had they had all these modes, custom modes, and it was just constantly new content, and you got to unlock stuff. And if you saw someone in a katana outfit, they'd be like, "Ooh, that's a cool outfit. Where'd you get that from?" Oh, I had to beat the story mode in Legendary to get it. Or Flaming Helmet, oh, he works for Bungie. Like, you see these cosmetics, and you're like, wow, how did they get them? They actually unlocked them, not paid money to get them. So it's just like, I was going to say about how great Halo 3 is, and now there's no way of playing Halo 3 without playing it on this shitty microtransaction-filled version that is in the Master Chief Collection, which has really made me very angry. Because I'm like, I want to play Halo 3 the way it was meant to be played. I want to go back to 2007, I think it came out. I want to go back to when it came out. I'm an old man, I'm yelling at a cloud, because I know it's not going to change, because people keep paying money to these microtransactions, and they keep funding them, and then they keep doing it, and it's making me mad. I'm going to bloody... I'm so angry.
You say you're the old man, right?
Yeah,
well, I'm literally this skeleton about a year older.
I mean, oh my god, I feel like but it feels like when like most people, like I feel like the people growing up under us, our younger generation, are more cool with microtransactions. I fucking hate microtransactions. I hate them so much. If it's a free-to-play game, I'm like, okay, fine, it's free to play. But Master Chief Collection is a full retail game, and they get money from Game Pass. It's not like, and it's like, it's a Microsoft game. It's not like Microsoft are like scrounging for pennies on the floor. They're not like, go spare change. We need funding. Like, no, you've got money coming out your ass. You don't need more money from us. You should, like, this is just this is like basically I'm really angry. They're ruining Halo. Like, Halo is the best series that Xbox has, and they're ruining it. And I'm usually the biggest offender of free for free, but seriously, fuck you guys. Seriously, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to defend you guys anymore. This is the straw that has broken the camel's back. I am fucking fuming. There. I think I've got it off my chest.
Yeah. Free for free is actually going for the more business-oriented approach, because Halo Infinite, they tip the balance so they can get people to buy more stuff on there. And you're probably thinking like as if they would be lowering of store prices, try to be really nice play nice with other people. But then the thing is, like, free for free, like, they try to aim for something that is really competitive. And when they just do the store prices, it kind of contradicts their message. So I think I can see like two thought processes that might come out of this for them. Like, Master Chief Collection, you're struggling to catch up on the season points. So what do they do about it? Like, they offer Spartan points for money. Oh, do you need to get all the items there, but you feel you're not going to be able to like run out of season points for it? Well, give them more money. Or they just like see this as opportunity to receive way more money than the stupendous amount of money they can get from Halo Infinite. I mean, people have been buying stuff in the shop. I bought a lot of stuff in the shop, and yet they're not giving so much for free. And even like you go through the game, the multiplayer, and you just don't get little reward. Like, because with all those armor cores, you just don't even like get enough content to go with it. And that is unless you had to pay them more money for this shit. I mean, this is just, it's just not on. They don't have dailies, they not... Yeah, that's right, because...
Yeah. They're not. They said that now they finished. Oh, the blog post. It starts off the blog post by saying, "We have updated Halo Master Chief Collection for 8 years by adding all these features in for you, and we've done it all out of the goodness of our heart." Not the fact that we bought the game or anything. They're basically like they start the blog post like that. Like, now that being said, if you want us to keep making the game for the next 8 years, we're gonna charge you extra money. And it's like, no, that's not cool. That's not cool to me. I don't understand.
Well,
like, they're
still making the content for Master Chief Collection when they obviously got Halo Infinite to save. Like, look, Master Chief Collection has got 4 or 5, well, even 6 definitive games on it, and they still adding content from like Halo Online and even some new content to go with it. But then, like, why bother with that when if you're going to release Halo Infinite, especially as a live service, then obviously you have to like get enough content to keep it going. And so far, Season 2 is just like trying to scrape up a barrel. Oh, the tools break. You buy tools for extra money, even the ones that are like really strong, so you can scrape more shit from the barrel. Like even the mold that is like putting on your armor. So it's just like they're just trying to show you commitment by spending more on stuff, which they do not have a lot up front. So, like, this is definitely them. Like, I know this is like unfair to say accuse them or call them out for like demanding more money than their commitment.
Call them out for Alice.
So,
call them out.
But I think it's becoming more obvious that they're just willing to see any opportunities that if they're able to get a profit from like any of those things, then they utilize that, and that's how they just turn season points into Spartan points so you can get online. But put it this way, they have like things where you get season points and they have content that cycle around, but obviously they just like giving the people the option to be able to spend more on spotting points and get more stuff. But I think this is literally them like trying to milk people's wallets. Like if you think about it, like you say the Halo 3 came out in 2007. I even went into the Wear presentation at Newport University. They had the dev kit, the Xbox stuff, and one of the things they mentioned from the person who worked with Wear, apparently you only get like less than a quarter of the sales from each Xbox game, and that's all you get for the studio, even though you sell thousands of copies. But now, not only you can like get more for digital sales, but now it's just like you're expecting people to own their own copy of the game and even like spend more money on cosmetic items. So it's just literally the opposite of what they're getting in the past. So you can definitely tell that 343, among other companies, have followed the route of EA because they literally like get microtransactions into the whole game and everything else. So it's just not right.
It's bullshit. I can't stand it. It makes me really mad. I mean, if you want to be, I'm going to be devil's avocado on this one. The devil's advocate. I'm going to try and spin it into what people, the argument people will be making is like, well, they've been maintaining this game for 8 years. If they want to keep them maintaining it, they need to keep getting money to keep going. And I'm like,
no,
that's bullshit. Because we spent... This game made millions, billions, lots of money. It's made lots of money already. And it's a Microsoft game. It's not like they're... As I said, they're owned by Microsoft. This should be your... This Xbox... Like, Phil Spencer, if you're listening, Sarah Bond, anyone from Xbox, right? You should say, stop this now. Get rid of these microtransactions. This should be your flagship game on Game Pass. This should be it. You should be like,
yeah,
this is the multiplayer that you buy Game Pass to play. You should try and focus on that and not be like, get Game Pass, oh, and then give us more money, and give us more money, and give us more money, and give us more money. It just feels like you're greedy. We know you're being greedy. Everyone sees you're being greedy. No one likes it, and it completely taints your brand. Halo should be this untouchable thing on a plinth. You should be treating it like delicately, but you fucked it up so many times, and it's making me furious because Halo is one of my favorite series of all time. Halo 3 is my favorite multiplayer of all time, and it's just, you keep fucking it up. And I know I'm probably getting demonetized for swearing, but fuck you, I don't care. I'm very angry and I need to get it off my chest. Okay?
Well, alright, if this is like the 90s, then obviously the Master Chief Collection will be like sold for a tenner. Instead, you still pay it like a full price, and now they expect you to pay more for it. So
yeah, it's bullshit. I can't stand it. It makes me really mad. As I said, the Halo 3 was my favorite multiplayer of all time because it didn't have all. It was like, it was perfect. It was the peak of shooters before the microtransaction bullshit sneaked in, and it's like so predatory and dirty and disgusting and gross. It's like people are like, oh, NFTs are the horrible thing, which they are, but microtransactions, people have just kind of let microtransactions go now. I'm never ever cool with microtransactions in full price games. You paid for the game, that's it. You should have the game. You shouldn't have to pay extra to keep playing it. If it was up to me, Halo Infinite is free to play, air quotes. I would have much preferred just to pay $60 and have it day one and have everything. That's what I want. I want to just buy a game and own everything and not be nickeled and dimed and feel like I'm being milked for money constantly. It's disgusting. And it's horrible. And it's like, people go, oh, don't worry, it's only the whales who cover it. Like, dehumanizing people, calling people whales, who basically people who have gambling addictions or some kind of mental illness that makes them spend money they don't have on microtransactions and put themselves into debt and making themselves ill. It's like, oh, they're just the whales. They're just the whales. They cover. They're the ones we want. We're not trying to get your money. We're just trying to get monies off. We're just trying to bankrupt random people who have these mental illnesses. It makes me really mad. like do immoral or whatever it's called, immortal. That's there's been people spending £15,000 on microtransactions just to level up, and it's like insane.
That is wrong.
What is wrong with the? Oh, and that's the problem is people pay it, and then you got these whales who pay it like, and I don't like even calling them whales because I feel like, as I said, it's dehumanizing people. But you got these microtransactions, you got these things just. Oh, it's so bad. I feel old, but it's like I want to go back to 2007 when my multiplayer games were just multiplayer games and I didn't have to buy extra stuff to keep playing. Like Modern Warfare 1 and Halo 3. I just like Gears of War 1 and 2 and now I can't even go back to Halo 3 because they've turned the bloody servers off. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
And it's upsetting. It really is.
Yeah, I think it's really, really corrupt because if you're somehow advocating to these whales, then they will obviously think like, oh, the system is always going to work because you're always going to get people paying in the game. And it kind of like leaves the poorer people into the dirt. So, I mean, you don't have all the money in the world to buy all the Halo Infinite microtransactions. Because if I had all the money in the world, I would have easily got all of it. But then that was just actually saying, oh, you're one of the star customers who keeps buying this shit. So if you buy more shit from it, they release more shit, and poorer people will be like missing out most of it. So I mean, this is it.
It adds like almost like a class system into video games, which is ridiculous. Like it's like I play video games to escape the real world. It's like I try to pay my bills and like live to make money, and it's like, oh, you're poor, you got the basic skin, like that kind of attitude. It's just like, it's just wrong. It's horrible. I hate it, and I hate free to play games. And if I wanted to play free to play games, I would play free to play games. I don't want this bullshit entering my full price games. I feel like this is the straw that broke the camel's back for me because I've always been team 343, and now I'm like, nah, fuck them. Get someone else on Halo because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm really furious about it. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow me on Twitter @PotatoChief or on YouTube @PotatoChief, or follow us on all podcast services. Thank you for listening.